This is for class 10. This is for class 10. Here, I have started with meiosis cell division because in your book it is given DNA replication, where this DNA is located, what happens. Uh, uh, in order to explain this, I have started this meiosis cell divisions. So, to give a picture, a clear picture to the students of class 10. So what is chromosomes? I have started from chromosome. Chromosome is a thread-like structure found inside the nucleus of a eukaryotic cells composed of a very long molecules of DNA that is tightly coiled around around proteins that are tightly coiled around proteins, and DNA carries genetic information of an organism, means genes are present here. That means genes are present. These are chromosome. It is a thread-like structure which is found in the nucleus, and it is composed of DNA molecules. It is composed of DNA molecules because the meiosis cell divisions it takes place in the germ cells. This takes place in the germ cells. So before the germ cells enter meiosis, it undergoes a preparatory period known as interphase. Means before the germ cells, before going to the cell division, before starting the cell division, it has to prepare itself. So during S phase, this is in the interphase. This is happening in the interphase. Uh, Each chromosomes replicate, and DNA also replicate. So each chromosomes now it is composed of two identical chromatids joined together. Means this one two identical sisters, means like this. This two identical sisters they are joined together. Two identical sisters for because of replication, and at the same time DNA replication. Here is the DNA replication takes place. So here the DNA replications means when the meiosis, it is the cell divisions which occurs in the germ cells. And these germ cells are present in the sex organs. So this is the meiosis which it takes place. The cell divisions takes place in the germ cells. And the first it is the during the before it going for the cell divisions, it has to prepare itself. So this is called the S phase, which is in the interphase. Here each chromosomes replicate, and at the same time DNA also replicate. And this each chromosomes, because it's replicate, so sister chromatids are formed and they are joined together. Here germ cells remains diploid, means 2n number. That means 23 pairs of chromosomes. It will remain 23 pairs of chromosomes. But it contains four complete sets of haploid cells. But it contains four complete cells of haploid cells. But your germ cells will remain diploid. So the DNA which is present in the, that means I have already told you that it is composed of this chromosomes. It is composed of DNA molecules. That means DNA molecules is present in the chromosomes. So you can say DNA present in the chromosomes, and here the replication start. That means the DNA tries to make an identical replica of itself. The DNA tries to make an identical replica of itself. This takes place when the germ cells starts for the preparation to undergo cell division, and that is the interphase. And in the interphase, that is in the S phase, and these are the phase. So in that phase, the chromosomes also replica of chromosomes starts, and at the same time the DNA replication also takes place. So here the DNA replications, that means here this is the which is mentioned in your book. During the DNA replications, that means the DNA tries to make identical DNA, but there while making an identical DNA, it is not possible to make an identical DNA. There a variations takes place, and this variations you can't stop this variation. This variation will go on. You can't stop this variation, and this variations helps the organisms for the survival if some drastic changes takes place in the environment, or if some changes take place in the environment, this variation, that is the DNA variation, it helps for the survival of the organisms. So This here the replication of the DNA takes place, and that means identical DNA is formed, but the DNA formed replication is not identical. There the variations takes place. So therefore, I had to take this as a whole because it is not clearly mentioned in your book. So to make it clear, I have done this. Now, here that means your germ cells will remain diploid even if the DNA replication, chromosomes replication is taking place, but it will remain diploid. But it contains four complete sets of haploid genomes. It contains four complete sets of genomes. So in meiosis, there takes place two cell divisions. In meiosis one, that is the separation of homologous chromosomes takes place. Means these chromosomes, the chromosomes they start to pair in this interface. The chromosomes in this interface, the chromosomes with their partner, it tries to form pairs. This chromosomes in the interface with its partners, it tries to form a pair, that is the homologous chromosomes. Here the separation of the homologous chromosomes takes place, and in meiosis 2 the sister chromatids, here the sister chromatids of each chromosome means, that means homologous chromosomes means the chromosomes uh, it forms pairs with its partner, it forms pair with its partner. So each chromosomes has two sisters. So this will split up into four haploid cells. This will split up into four haploid cells. That means the gametes will be formed. That is for the male, it is the sperm. These are haploid cells, and for female, it is the ovary. That is the ovaries. That is the these are the haploid cells, and due to the fusion of the sperms and the ovaries, the zygote is formed. Again, the diploid is maintained. Again, the diploid is maintained. So, I have given this in a nutshell because this is a vast chapter, but to make you understand that for class 10, I have given this in a nutshell. So, this is how where the DNA replications takes place. I have cleared it. To do this, I have to go through this part. Now, what happens due to this variation, that is the variations and natural selections, due to the variations and natural selection, evolution has taken place. This is the very more important point. Due to the variations, this you can't stop the variations. Due to the variations and natural selections, due to the variations and natural selections, what has happened, this uh, uh, because of this variations and natural selection, evolution has taken place. This is how evolution has taken place. Now here in your book it has been explained, that is the I want to give you about the genetic drift. What is the genetic drift? That means uh, suppose there was a green beetles, and then these green beetles are adapted by their population. Why the green beetles are adapted by the populations? Because and at the same time it is adapted by the nature. That means nature has also adapted, and it is adapted by the population. Why? Because the green beetles, it remains safe from the crow. If it was of other color, then crow would have picked it up and the population of the beetles will decrease. So these green beetles, they are adapted by the population, and they are adapted by the this is by the natural selection. So here, due to accident, suppose due to accident, these green beetles died, and suppose some of the blue beetles survived. So these blue beetles can change the frequency of some genes in a population. These blue beetles can change the some genes in a population, and if they give but population even if this even if they give no survival advantage, because blue beetles, it has no survival, because it will be easily identified by the crow, and identified by the crow, and the population will decrease. It has no survival advantage. This is genetic drift, which provides diversity without adaptation. Means the population has not adapted it, because why? The population, the nature has not selected, because the blue beetle, it will be identified by the crow, and the crow and the population of the blue beetles will decrease. Yet this is called genetic drift. This is called genetic drift. That means diets change but without adaptation. That means the population of the blue population has increased. It may happen due to accident, uh, but without any adaptation. So this is a genetic drift. So the most important point in this your book, it has been said about the variation, and this variation is because of the DNA replication, and this replication, in while DNA replicates, it does not forms an identical DNA. There is some variations, and these variations will continue. You can't stop this, and because of this variation, it makes the survival of an organisms. If some changes in the environment, or if some changes takes place, it helps in the survival of this organisms. So variations is necessary. So variations is necessary. And now now how that here again it has been explained to you from a given species, that is a beetle. They have taken the example of beetles. How from the beetle individual species are created? What do you mean by individual species? How from this beetle individual species are created? What does this mean? Suppose there is a population of beetles, and suppose a river flowed in between, dividing the two uh, populations apart. Now in both sides, due to variations and natural selections, in both sides due to variations and natural selections, what happens, even if they are brought together, there is no reproduction, there is no mating. So in this way, two individual species are created. Two individual species are created because of DNA variations, because of these variations and natural selections, as well as genetic drift. Because of this, it was the same beetles, but what happens, because of the change because variations, natural selection, and genetic drift, the two populations, they became different species, and even you brought them together, they never met each other. So this is how individual species are created. The individual species take evolution of individual species takes place. So this is what I want to tell you about this heredity in the heredity chapter, as well as in the heredity chapter. So I think so. It is now clear to you all. The main point here is the DNA replication, variation, natural selection, adaptation, and genetic traits. These are the most important point here, and most important point is this. So from the Mendeleev experiment, uh, this was the primitive stage, and this is your gives you the full explanation of your uh, cell division. This is the meiosis cell divisions, which actually takes place in your germ cells. This is all about for today. Thank you.